Hello and welcome back to another video. It's Sunday morning. I'm in Hiroshima and today I'm going to buy some fish. So please come along with me and let's see how it turns out. Okay, so this is the bus center in Hiroshima. So I've already caught a train to Hiroshima station and a tram from there to the center of Hiroshima. So this is step 3 of my journey. I hope these fish are worth it. So after leaving Hiroshima, the bus heads north into some quite spectacular scenery like this. By the way, this river is the Ota River. It's the main river, ultimately, that flows through Hiroshima city. The river is calm enough and quite placid today, but after heavy rain, it can become quite ferocious. Okay, so it's about an hour and 40 minutes since I got on the bus in Hiroshima, and well, I've just got off the bus. And I'm here in a town in the northwest of Hiroshima prefecture called Kake. This is where I'm going to buy my fish. So, let's go and buy them. This is the sign for the fish shop, and well, if you can read Japanese, maybe that gives you a little bit of a clue. If not, well, hang on a few minutes. Okay, so this is me from the future. I did obviously go inside the shop and I actually did video my transaction, but unfortunately there were quite a few other people in the shop and most of them were chatting away. Now, fair enough, but that does make the video a little bit difficult to listen to. So I've muted it and, well, you have my commentary instead. Alright, so I got my fish. I actually got 4 fish, in fact. 1 to eat now and 3 for later. So, here's the one to eat now. So, of course, this is not a real fish, but it's sweet in the shape of a fish called Taiyaki. And there is a shop here in Kake, which is really famous for them. Well, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say, so let's eat. Yeah, they're really good. I can say that now. The outside is quite crunchy, but then the inside is really fluffy. And then there's a beautiful filling of anko, which is red bean paste jam. So, pretty good. Until 2003, there was actually a railway through Kake. The Kabe line linked Hiroshima and Sandankyo, which is a beautiful gorge just a little bit further up into the hills. It's about 20 minutes or so by bus from here, I think. Unfortunately, but I suppose inevitably, given the number of passengers, or lack of passengers, more to the point, the railway was closed in 2003. When I say closed, it was actually truncated to link only Hiroshima and Kabe. It's since been extended by 2 stations, but even so, it comes nowhere close to Kake anymore. Which is a real shame, really, but I suppose that's life. The only evidence that there was ever a station here at all is about 10 meters of platform which has been kept, and a tiny little bit of track just outside the car park where I am now. As I say, it's a real shame. Anyway, back to fish. I bought 3 Taiyaki for later because, as I say, Sandankyo is really beautiful and it's only about 20 minutes or so by bus from here. Well, having come all this way, as I say, it was 1 hour and 40 minutes on the bus. having come all this way, it would be stupid not to go a little bit further. So those 3 taiyaki are a snack to eat in Sandankyo. So anyway, the bus is in about 10 minutes or so. So let's go and find the bus stop. Okay, so I'm just waiting for the bus now. I'm at the bus stop, but I have to say I got the bus times a little bit wrong, but in a good way. I thought the bus was in 10 minutes. It's actually in about 25 minutes, so I've got 15 minutes to spare. Which gives me time to just mention that if you ever come to Kake, and it's the right time of the year, then there is a quite spectacularly beautiful garden called Yoshimizuen. It's only about 5 minutes walk from here, the bus stop, which is about 2 minutes walk from the Taiyaki shop. So it's not far, basically, but it is well worth a visit. The only thing is that it's only open 2 or 3 weekends a year when the red leaves are in season. But trust me, it's well worth a visit. What I'll do is I'll put a few photographs and video from last year in this video now, just to give you a taster. Okay, so this is Sandankyo, and I'm standing basically just about where the railway station used to be. And unfortunately, there's basically no trace whatsoever of the station itself. If I remember correctly, it was actually quite a nice station, but unfortunately it's all gone now. The only thing that remains is a tiny little piece of line, which is just there, so let's go and take a look at it. This is all there is to suggest that there was ever a station here. It's quite sad, really. All right, so let's take a walk down into Sandankyo Gorge itself. So, as I said, Sandankyo is a gorge, which of course means there's a river running through it, and it's quite a beautiful river. The water is very clear. Now, I planned to have the first of my taiyaki down there. Maybe you can just see the river, but maybe because this is summer, or probably because this is summer, it's busy with canoeists and paddle boarders. It's great that the valley is still quite used, because the area around where the station used to be does actually look quite run down. But obviously, the river being very popular means I have nowhere to eat my taiyaki. Well, I'm sure I'll find somewhere fairly soon. I'm not going to say that I'm scared, because I'm not, but there have been quite a few reports of bears further up in the gorge. Now, I'm not scared because, well, one, maybe because I'm stupid and I should be scared, but apart from anything else, there are quite a lot of people on the path at this point. So if we assume that bears are basically scared of noise, then we should be okay. I did just pass a lady with a bear bell on her rucksack though, so obviously the threat is real. Actually, come to think of it, maybe carrying a bag of cakes around is not the best idea, no matter how popular the path might be at this point. Maybe I should eat these sooner rather than later. I'm sure you can see from this video, but the path is relatively narrow, and on one side there is a fairly steep, no, a very steep, no, an almost sheer drop down to the river. So at this time of year, yeah, fair enough, the path is popular enough. I've had to stop recording several times, in fact, because there have been people coming the other way. But one thing it's worth bearing in mind is that this gorge, Sandankyo, is one of the most popular and actually one of the most beautiful places for red leaf viewing in autumn. So imagine these paths when there are hundreds of people trying to pass. I've been here several times in red leaf season, and it can be a little bit hair-raising. Can you see that really beautiful waterfall just on the other side of the valley? I'll try and take it with a little bit more zoom, I think. Look at the beautiful colour of the pool at the base of the waterfall too. It really is quite wonderful. Anyway, from here on is where the path starts getting a little bit more hair-raising. I'm going to stay away from the edge, I think. The area to the left of the picture is called Tatsunokuchi, or Dragon's Mouth. I think it's quite an appropriate name, really. The force of the water here is really quite something. It was about 32 degrees when I left Hiroshima this morning. Here, up in the hills, it's about 27. So it is significantly cooler, but I certainly wouldn't say it's cool. The name Sandankyo means three-stage valley or three-stage gorge, and it refers to the fact that there are 3 waterfalls in the valley. I'm not sure how far I'm going to be able to go today, and I'm certainly not going to be able to go to all of the waterfalls because there was a landslip, I think actually earlier this year, maybe in winter, and the path is blocked. Actually, that's another reason I'm not so worried about bears, because they're not so likely to be this far down the valley, this close to civilization. Famous last words, maybe, but that's what I'm hoping. Anyway, let's see how far we can go. You know, I can't really believe I didn't think of this sooner. But I've just thought of something I need to be worried about even more than bears. Even more than snakes, for that matter. Ticks. There's lots of wildlife here. I'm wearing shorts. I could be bitten by a tick. I need to be very careful here, I think. Bitten by a tick or bitten by a bear? I wonder which one is less bad. There's another nice open bit by the river just there where I could have gone, sat on a rock and eaten my taiyaki, at least one of them. But there are some children playing in the river, so no good. Let's go a little bit further on, see if there is anywhere I can sit and take a break. In Japanese, there is a word, shinrin-yoku, which means basically forest bathing. Now, that doesn't really make much sense in English, but what it equates to is getting out into nature and sort of enjoying the greenery. And, well, Sandankyo is basically a perfect place for doing that. Especially on a beautiful afternoon like this one. It really is perfect. Once again, this would have been a perfect place to take a break and have one of my taiyaki. But again, there are people playing in the river. So another no-go, I think. I remember this place from coming in autumn before. This is always a real bottleneck. And just as ever, there's a huge fall down to the water. This is not one of the main waterfalls, but guess what it's called? Akadaki is the answer. And second question, guess what Akadaki means? Well, if you guessed red waterfall, you would be correct. It is indeed a red waterfall. Standing here, I can just feel the spray from the waterfall, and it is remarkably refreshing. I wish I could sit in the waterfall for a while, but I have to catch the bus back, unfortunately. So Sandankyo is much more spectacular than I remembered. I think it's been 4 or 5 years since I last came, and well, I left it too long. I think especially on an afternoon like this, it is absolutely stunning. Now, I would love to stay for longer. I would love to go further along the valley, but unfortunately there is a bus in 40 minutes, and I think the next bus after that is 2 hours and 40 minutes. So realistically, I think today I should head back to the bus stop and ultimately head back to Hiroshima. I would, as I say, love to stay longer, but I can console myself with the fact that I definitely won't be leaving it for 4 or 5 years before I come again. Hopefully, I'll even be able to come in autumn when the red leaves are at their best. I can't say I will enjoy the crowds, but the autumn foliage will more than make up for that, I'm sure. So anyway, I will speak to you when I get back to the bus stop. So I'm back at the bus stop in time for the bus, which is good. Unfortunately, I didn't get to eat my taiyaki, but in the end, that doesn't really matter. I can eat them on the bus, or I can even eat them at home tonight. They won't spoil. It's fine. But I managed to do what I wanted to do today. I got the taiyaki, and they really were superb. I got to come to Sandankyo, and well, I got to make this video. And I hope very much you enjoyed it. If you do go to Kake ever, then do buy some taiyaki because they are superb. And if you're in Kake at the right time of year, do visit Yoshimizu-en because that is also superb. Also, whether you go to Kake or not, Sandankyo is always worth a visit. It's beautiful now in late summer, but it's equally beautiful, no, more beautiful, in autumn, when the red leaves are really, really quite spectacular. They really are something to see. Anyway, I think that's about it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again in another video very soon. For now, though, from Sandankyo, goodbye.